Good afternoon. It is Barbara, and it is just after midday here on the east coast of the United States. I hope this finds everybody well. I think so today it's Sunday, and I think that the weather here is like in the 40s. So it's like all over the place already. So I've already got my decks out. So the weather has already been playing tricks on us. It's been up and down, up and down. I think some point it's going to get colder again. But this time of year, I'll take a 40-degree day. So before I jumped on, I just asked my trusty Sacred Soul Shadow Oracle deck what was the theme for this week, and looking at it I just see it's adaptability. So it's this beautiful card, and right on target for me, because the Lyrans are also part. So I spent at least 4 lifetimes as a Lyran, and so adaptability. So I also have 2 personal guides who I'm getting to know, who are also Lyrans, and it's interesting how getting to know your close guides has been. Definitely the Palladians have been stepping in this week and showing up either with colours, just showing me their presence. So they are my other 2 soul guides, and that's why I've got the Starseed Oracle deck here. So I was going to pull some cards from that. If you've been following me this week, I think I've been posting a lot on the peace walk that is happening from Texas to Washington DC. My absolute favourite is the dog. That's what got me following these monks, but they're on a peace mission. And yesterday the crowds were just huge. I think it was Charlotte, South Carolina. It was like a rally, and they're very peaceful, and they're just walking for peace. If you haven't seen them, they are all over the here we go with my voice again. During the week, it's fine. Actually, whenever I was doing a Reiki session on Friday, and it kept doing this, and by the time I'd finished, which was like an hour and a half, it actually had started to clear up. So I've been following that, and I've also been posting the dragon cards, which I find absolutely fascinating because they always seem to be spot on each day. A few times I've pulled the same one that I've already posted, so I found another one. So we're going into the second full week of January, and technically the 3rd week. I think this year is going to go by as fast as last year. I've been continuing my journey with Lara Star, and hoping to eventually start doing some work there on excuse me, I'm going to cough again. So that takes time to actually get certified, and I'm going to check in with my dragons. They were so excited to be able to go and do Lost Soul Rescue, and even if I can't, they're done on Fridays, and I actually haven't. I've been to one live, I think, but the dragons always show up because as I'm learning, so are my dragons. So spirit release therapy is what I'm working with. And if you know Lara Star, you know the type of work that is. So Dragon Star, human child, we see the lost parts of yourself. We return to you now, the missing pieces of your soul. Claim them and become the shining star you are meant to be. So that goes along with our other card that I pulled, which is adaptability. Think outside the box and find creative solutions to life's challenges. So that's our theme for this week. So yeah, they're the two main things. I find watching these monks walk for peace has stirred something up inside of me, and I think for a lot of other people as well. And that's why it has become this huge following. Sort of, I think they started in November, and I only really came across them about mid-December, and now they're over the news. I mean, they're just everywhere, and of course we so need it. But if you get a chance to catch the story about, I'm not sure how you say his name, Aloka is the dog. He was an Indian street dog that decided to follow them on one of their peace walks in India, and he walked over 100 miles without any rest. This is 2,300 miles, and he's getting taken care of, obviously. That's a lot for a dog to walk. And he gets rested, and he's had a day of rest. You'll sometimes see him with, booties on his feet. The other thing I find amazing about these monks is that some of them walk without shoes on. I've noticed as time's gone on, they've got bindings on their feet. I'm sure they get very raw. And it's not, I know down south it's a bit warmer than here, but it's still not that warm. So amazing. I'm sure there's some past life. I don't know. I just get body chills when I read where they are, what they're doing. It just chills me. So let's see what. I'm just seeing that I need to plug my computer in. So just hold on a minute. All right, so we should be okay now. So I've also been experiencing some timeline shifts, which is interesting because it's almost like last night I was making some. So I've been doing January. I'm going to do totally plant-based meals, and I was making something that required quite a lot of plant-based milk, which I have because that's what we use, and I thought I used a lot of it in the recipe, and this morning when I went to use it, it felt like it was about 3/4 full, and I'm like, that's weird. Several other people have commented how they felt like a sideways shift or sort of, and I got that, I think it was this week. I remember my son saying the same thing. It's almost like you feel that you've shifted, but you haven't quite gone there. It's sort of this sideways thing. So interesting stuff that's going on as well. A lot of planets are retrograde, so I read. So let's see what I was going to do the star seeds. This is the Rebecca Campbell's the Starseed Oracle, which clearly I've had a long time, and every now and again, like the other day I got, because this is the colour of the Pleiadians. So there's sort of, and they're that sort of, well, the Pleiadians that I have been seeing are sort of a paler blue, very piercing blue eyes, and very long white sort of blonde hair. I have one of my guides, his name's Paul. Obviously that isn't his name, but that's what he wants me to call him. And and he is about 7 foot tall, with long hair, almost androgynous looking. And then Nerissa is my other Pleiadian guide, and she's got more of the curly, wavy hair, long, very long, and she wears a lot of navy blue and gold, and does not like pants. She's told me she doesn't like that women should wear dresses. So that's her opinion. And she's also very opinionated, she says. She wears like flowing gowns, like full-length dresses. She's showing me now, she's got like gold edging, almost like medieval type clothing. She says, yes, that's that's what she's based her wardrobe on. But she can also become very, she's saying that the reason she doesn't like pants is because when they travel, they have to go into spacesuits. And that means she has to go in this like all-in-one. She's showing me like a silver suit that they have to put themselves in. That's interesting. I didn't even know they were going to come through. So yeah, I've been working on connecting with them, and this morning I did actually say, so I've got the void again. So I think this is interesting. This is again for us this week. I'm going to look up the card, the void, because that's the second time I've pulled that. All paths lead to home. So yes, again, these are the colours that I see with them. And the Pleiades was my last home. And that is where I'm returning when this earth life ends. So I'm very happy about that. And the empathetic starseed. Again, all these very vibrant colours. But let's just, not vibrant, muted blues. There's a pink there. But I want to see what the void is, because as I always say, when I pick up a card more than once, I often wonder, let's see. I'm waiting for my new glasses, so I should be able to see better once I get them. And I know I mentioned that last week, that I had said, I need to look it up. I'd said that I actually, in my head, I wish I could find some purple glasses, and they appeared. So, where is the void? All right, I'm not going to spend too much time on this if I can't. Wait. Oh, here it is. The void. Stop. Embrace winter. Great cosmic womb. Everything and nothing exists in the void. It's where all life begins and ends. It's the winter and the womb. The fertile darkness where all things originate and all seeds grow. Comforting and intimidating, freeing and daunting, it can feel both overwhelmingly small and huge. The void is where faith lives. So no wonder I keep pulling it. The message of the void is to surrender to the unknown, to allow the fertile darkness of nothingness to nourish the new seed growing within you. Regardless of whether you know what they'll one day become, you're being called to surrender to the mystery of what is next. So I think that's on a lot of our minds for what is next. What is next next month? What is next week? What is next? What's next for you is what I'm hearing. So let's see. what the goddesses have to tell us. I haven't used these this week actually, so it will be interesting to see what comes up. I put out my dragon deck just to see, and also the crow deck, so I used that the other day in a session. So, Green Tara, start delegating. I think that's for me. Start delegating. Sedna, infinite supply. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. So there's, I love the colours. And let's see who the last one is. Athena, inner wisdom. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. So that goes with the question from the Void card, which was, what's next? I think we will be tested this year. I think already we have here in the United States been tested. Okay, let's pull some dragon cards. So this is the Dragon Oracle deck by Diana Cooper. Fire and Water Dragon is on the bottom. Enable your life to flow with loving force. Oh, the Alpha Dragon. Harness the divine masculine power of creation. Which actually leads me to, so what I'm hearing is, so my gatekeeper is actually a black Alpha Dragon, a lot bigger than that. He actually sits on the right side of me. His name is Sealy. And on my left-hand side, I have a beautiful white dragon whose name is Peace, and they blend their energy each day to balance out my divine masculine and divine feminine, which makes me feel much more like if I feel slightly off, they balance me out. And he also does a lot of communication with my other dragons, especially around spirit release. So he's been with me for a very long time. And the last one is Source Dragon. Attunes you to the infinite. Be still. In the silence, magic can happen. Be in the moment. And that reminds me of Merlin. Merlin says that quite often when he gives messages to be still. That the only time that we can hear is in the stillness, and that's if you want to connect with your dragon, with your guides, with anything. Connect to source, especially as it says here with source. It's always good to sit. I've got these, so these I'm going to see if one or two of my cards. Oh, that one's already jumped out, and I think that's the Earth Dragon. Oh, it's the Wind Dragon. Oh, that's interesting. So that's the Wind Dragon. They're rather like fire dragons. Their wind will whip up, sometimes as a spiral, and they will just like suck everything away, or they will come in and blow it away. So they're clearing the path. So that again goes along with that theme of this week of being adaptable. All right, they're saying 3 of these. The Daughter Dragon. And see what's on the bottom. Merlin the Dragon, Connector. So I talk about Merlin and he pops up. It's always interesting when he pops in, because usually it's to either say. So he has been working with me as Merlin the dragon, not just as Merlin this week. So, but he is also my connector, and he works with me so I can connect people or other beings to other beings. The daughter dragon comes up. This may be, I did see that it's either birthdays, anniversaries of something to do with our mothers. Those of us that are daughters, sometimes it is about remembering our mothers when they were here. And it may be around forgiveness, because this comes up for me around forgiveness. When I was working with this dragon, they took me on a journey of remembrance. And even though they knew I did not have a good relationship with my mother when we were here on earth, it was all about my earthly lessons. And I've learned a lot from that. So whatever that means to you is why it's shown up. I think I saw somebody who I know. It was her mother's birthday yesterday, and she's in spirit. So let's just do some crow cards. See what the crows have to say, and then I think that is... I know I had a very odd week, and I'm still sort of feeling a bit like that. Freedom. Actually, I'm going to fight that crow. Looks just like, let me so as we say, there are no coincidences. That crow, and this is actually a goddess. I don't even remember who, but look at the similarity. As I say, you can't make this stuff up. I was clearing off my altar, and I've just taken off all the crystals. I put them outside for a couple of days to recharge, and as I was moving things around, that's how I remembered I had this. I have feeling this is Hathor. But again, no coincidences. So that's that one. Freedom. Let's see what the message is. So we've got freedom, observation, and play. That's a good card to end on. So let's do a quick recap here. So this is what the crows are. This was to get my attention about freedom. I think that is like a theme for our country here in the United States, is freedom. It looks like the crows, I want to say the crows delivering something there. So it feels like the crows delivering a message. They're also telling us to observe. Before you act, observe. And don't forget, it's important to play. So I forget that as well. So we started off with adaptability and a message from the Lyrans, the Dragon Star. Then we had the Void card. All paths lead to home. So for a lot of us, our next incarnation, or we are going home after this incarnation. As I told you last week, I was very happy to hear that. And empathetic starseed, energy sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. So that's also sort of comes as a warning, because, and this was a conversation that I was part of yesterday about when we're empaths, we attract a lot of negative people, because we are that shining star. It's a bit like this flame here, like moth to the flame. So because we're bright, we're shiny, all of the darker entities, the dark people that hold darkness, are drawn to our light like moths to a flame. So this is just to be cautious and remember that we're all going home at the end of this. Then the there's the three dragons. The wind dragon is here sucking up all of that negativity. Merlin is here to connect us as the connector, to connect us for what comes next. And that was the same message as the void. And this was a message for anybody who is a daughter, who has either lost a mother, all the things I just talked about. The three goddesses was Green Tara. Start delegating. That's always a good, especially at the beginning of the year. Sort of start the year off as you mean to go. Sedna, infinite supply of, you are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. So we're infinite, and anything we want, we can have. And Athena, inner wisdom. There's the wise owl. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom. And then the three crows. And then these three dragons. There was the fire and water dragon. Enable your life to flow with loving force. The source dragon attunes you to the infinite. And the alpha dragon, who's the male dragon. So we've got messages from my gatekeeper, who is Lyran. Is he Lyran? I'm saying that. Let me ask him. He is my black alpha dragon. So he's saying, no, he's not. Oh, okay, I misspoke. So what I was saying was his source. All right, he's my source dragon. I have, so we've got a message from him. We've got a message from the Pleiadians, who are also two of my guides are Pleiadians. So that's all I have for today. I hope that you all have a good week, and I'll be back next week. Have a good one.